Okay. Very good afternoon to all. It's my pleasure to welcome the trainers, the organizing team members, and the participants from various colleges for the third day FDP on cybersecurity, which is jointly organized by the Department of Information Technology and Computer Science Engineering of St. Xavier's Catholic College of Engineering. So far, we have seen two interesting and interactive sessions on types of attacks, types of hackers, malware family, social engineering, and phishing with real-time examples. So today we have another one interesting session on password cracking and how to brute force password with live demos. So this session was handled by Jerry, and it's my pleasure and I'm very glad to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Jerry Nishan. He is our alumnus and he is with us from 2012 to 2016. And about him, he is a certified trainer of ethical hacking with immense passion on cybersecurity. By the way, he started his career by joining Hacktify Cybersecurity and then started doing bug bounty program and got Hall of Fame for submitting critical bug for OYO Rooms, Declathon, India. Currently, he is working as a senior cybersecurity consultant in Prog IST Solutions, Thane, Maharashtra. He is also served as a security audits and provide security audits for many highly reputed banks, stock markets, and big short brands. With this introduction, I would like to welcome Mr. Jerry to present the session. Welcome, Jerry.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Hi, all. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank Mr. R.P. Anto Kumar, HOD, Head of the Department of Computer Science Department, and Mrs. Dr. Andrews, ma'am, who is the Head of the Department of Information Technology Department, and the other organizers and my faculty members, as well as other college faculties, one who attending my webinar. I'd be very thankful to mention few of my faculties who gave me a great exposure during my college studies. The one who is R.P. Anto Kumar, who will be treating each and every students with a very equal manner, even though I'm a below average student, but he would be like encouraging for seminars, conducting conferences in our department, each and everything. And again, my faculty members like Geeta Jennifer as well as Josephine Usha ma'am would be a very most pillar for me, who gave me a boost as well as who want to like push me for doing the paper presentations, topic presentations and everything, which gave me a strong back, so that now I am like invited for so many reputed companies as well as colleges for giving webinars. So not to waste much time, we can go into our topic for today. Let me share my screen. So is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So today's topic is about password cracking. So what is password cracking? Let's move. What is password cracking? It will be an art of obtaining an exact password of a legitimate user, so that it is protected by an authentication methods. Based on the various applications, we'll be having different security measures, so that it will be having lots of encryptions, lots of security methodologies implemented on the application. But there are few varieties of terms like password cracking, password crashing, and bypassing authentications. So mostly when we are diving into extreme technical words, the three were very different. I would recommend, like, I would clearly explain you all the three things. Password cracking is nothing but exactly finding out the exact password. Say if Jerry is having a password of example @123, password cracking is nothing but finding a way how to find a exact password that is example @123. It will be a password cracking. And password crashing is nothing but finding an alternative way to do that, like doing a client-side request forgeries, like giving a confusions for the server to manage our request, sending the malfunctioned request to server, and bypassing those passwords with wrong passwords. So that is a password crashing. And authentication bypass will be like without giving password or without giving a right password, how to bypass those password security measures implemented on an application. So these are the three main categories of passwords cracking and password crashing, as well as authentication bypass. So in our topic today we will be covering on password cracking. So next main topic in password cracking is the brute force. So most of you have heard this word in many terms, in many fields. So brute force is nothing but it is a process of submitting several combinations of passwords or passphrases by guessing until they find the correct one. So it is like trial and error method, finding a right exact password. It may be a method of automated tools you can perform, or manually inject the passwords, like trial and error. So first of all, let us get into somewhat deep into brute forcing. So what is brute forcing? So in the case, let's take a example. So a user names Bob, attacker is Jerry. He wants to crack Bob's password. So first case, when we come into this brute forcing attack, the first main step is for guessing the most relevant password combinations. It will be into like social engineering. We can do social engineering, spying that user, like following his routine, whatever he uses, Facebook, he's having a pet or not, he's having a favorite car. Maybe like we can just explore many different things. Based on that, we will be creating and guessing the passwords. Okay, let's take let's consider Bob's full name is Bob Stan Lee, and his date of birth is 34 1994, and his favorite car name is BMW, and again his favorite color is red. So I'm just collecting his informations. Based on that, we'll be creating a word list. This will be the second step, creating word list for having set of passwords or passphrases combinations. So it is like creating a word list is again we can create it by automated tools. So something like we are having many automated tools. The mainly professionals we use Crunch. It is very excellent tool which immediately creates lots and lots of files. So for example, now we are considering this scenario. Example, the user is Bob and attacker is Jerry, and I have collected some details about him using some recognizers, and now I'm going to create a word list. Based on that, the attack will be performed. So the first thing is Bob, okay, and his date of birth is 30, fine, and the year is 94. Okay, then let me consider as 30 and April. So I am taking Bob 3004 only the month and date. The next case is I am using Bob at the rate, I'm using a symbol and again the same thing. Next one, so Bob, and again I'm adding one more character, special character, which is randomly used by most of the users. So again I'm going for Bob at the rate exclamation 3004. Fine. Now next I'm just giving next option. Okay, he maybe he will be using some other different option. So Bob loves BMW. Then Bob so let's consider for our demo purpose. So I'm just taking these these five options. Like we are going to create the word list based on that. And if in case of manual thing, each and every password or passphrases should be mentioned by our own. And in next case, if you are going by automated tools, just we want to mention the range of characters to use for creating a word list. Say I will be giving alphabets from A to Z and numericals from 0 to 9. Next, I will be mentioning the special characters which I want to add in the password word list creation. So I'm mentioning randomly like these four. So it will be creating a list of characters. I'll be showing in demo so that you will be clear how it works. So based on that, the third step will be very easy and where to inject. Setting an injection point so that it will be like each and every time. First time it will take the Bob 304 and it will inject on. Let's consider username bob@gmail.com. Password. So I'm just sending a random password. So in this case, the injection point will be we want to crash or we want to brute force the password. So in this case, we will be selecting this password and the injection point will be this one. So we want to mark the injection point and we'll be sending the request, n number of requests. So first request when it is going to a server, the Bob 3004 will be used in this point. Bob 3004 will be going to the server, like Gmail server. It will try bob@gmail.com and the password will be Bob 3004. If it is true, if it is working fine, you are logged in successfully, or if it is failed, again it will be taking second iteration bob@3004 and it will be pasted here and it will be injected and it will be going to the server. And again, if it is true, you are successfully logged in, or if you are failed, again it will take the third iteration. So based on your word list, how much word list you are giving and how vast your thinking is. If you are thinking out of the box and you are finding that your guess is perfect, you'll be getting the passwords very fast and very easily, or else it will take some more time, but sure it will be cracking the passwords. So this is brute force. And now running manually or automated tools to run various password combinations until you succeed. This is the fourth step of brute force. So first thing is, let me explain some more deep into these steps. Steps followed in brute force. First is guess password or passphrases and creating word list is the second step. Injection point, run manually or automated tools. So the same thing is mentioned here. I want to crack Bob's email address. His name is Bob and date of birth is mentioned something here. And initially I want to try like alphanumeric. So it will be having a combinations like I am mentioning for creating a word list. So let us consider like B, O as well as B. Again, I am mentioning BOB is here. So I am mentioning the alphabet BOB and the date of birth I want to shuffle, create word list based on these things. So I am mentioning like 0, 1, 6, 7, 9 and 7. So I am mentioning here 0, 1, 6, 7 and 9, and again I am mentioning the very most favorite and most used special characters @ hash and dollar. So again I want to mention, now I want to mention a password length. So how much length you want to create a word list. So based on that, the password will be created. So now I am mentioning 8. So the passwords will be created based on that. So second thing is creating a word list. So it will be creating like Bob @ and hash 1677. So now the alphabet is capitalized BOB @ same thing. So second character is changed. So it will be trying for different combinations of passwords which you have mentioned to create the word list. So it will be like keeps on going. How many possibilities or possibilities of word lists are created? Based on that, the attack will be performed. So setting injection parameter, it will be like param is equal to value. For example, in the case of you want to brute force a OTP for some application, the value will be like param OTP and value will be like whichever whatever the parameter your value you are receiving. It may be like 4-digit or 6-digit. Based on that, you will be creating a word list. Also, you will be mentioning the maximum length of the word list. So maybe you can brute force password also, say like hello $$123. So the injection point will be like the passwords to password will be the injection point, and you will be setting the brute forcer and you will be running the scripts. Again, when you're coming into in some cases you will be like trying to enumerate users. So enumerating a users will be also like you want to create a word list based on the different types of email with the provider also @gmail.com, @yahoo.co.in, @outlook.com. Based on that, you can create a n number of email IDs and you can try to enumerate user whether the user is valid user or not. So let's get into a practical session. So let's go into a practical. So you are seeing like I am entering my mobile number for this application Bevaku, and for the main thing I want to show you first. So this is the main disclaimer text. During the webinars, whatever shown is for educational purpose. It's not to perform attacks for anyone like getting the social profiles as well as anything. And it's to prevent yourselves and how to create our good as well as strong passwords and be aware and respect others' security. Only for this purpose, the webinar is don't misuse these things. And we are not responsible for any IT laws forced to you when you are like misusing these things. So I am logging in for Bevaku using my mobile number as well as the password. So in this application, if a attacker is doing a man in middle attack, see the password is sent through in a plain text. So let's consider Rohit is an attacker sitting in middle of my middle of Jerry as well as the Bevaku server, and he want to crack Jerry's password or he want to get the Jerry's password. If he is intercepting my request, which I am sending from my PC to the server of Bevaku, he could get a without unencrypted format of my password, which is encrypted, which is in a plain text. So he can get my password very easily. Or even though he want to perform, if I want to perform the attack, so what I will do is like, let me enter a wrong password. So this will be the injection point I'm sending to a intruder, which is used for attacking the, which is used for performing brute force. So I'm going to brute force. So the second point is setting, third point is like setting injection point. So I'm just setting the injection point. This will be the injection point. So I'm adding a injection point. So it is created with a dollar and my password and this thing. So I'm going to set a payload. So in payload, I'm going to give, see, brute forcer. So it is showing you clearly the character sets. So is it visible?
There it's the font size is too small.
Okay, actually its application size is very small.
Yeah.
Okay, in next screen you will be seeing. So it is like a password combinations, how to create
Jerry,
a,
excuse me, Jerry.
yeah, sir.
Yeah, you can use the magnifier
Okay,
tool in there.
so now is it visible?
Yes, you can concentrate on the area you are, yeah.
Okay, fine, sir,
Okay,
fine.
very good.
So it is something like which I have explained you earlier. These are my word list which I am going to mention. So I am now I am an attacker point of view. I am doing an attack. So I am just guessing that Jerry won't be using any alphanumeric or alphanumeric with special character. He won't be using. He's a very lazy person. So I am just going ahead with a numeric type of attack. So I'm just removing all this time. So not to waste time for brute forcing my password. So I'm just mentioning these things. So again, I'm going to password length. How long it will be? Okay, 10. I'm going to mention maybe he will be using 10 digits. So I'm fine. I'm going to use this. So again, I'm going to set a payload rule. So payload rule is nothing but, I'll show you. It is like add prefix, add suffix, and add match or replace. Once it matches something, it will take this thing. So I'm just giving a prefix for a, it is a webinar, so we want to make it little short. So I'm just going ahead with that. So I'm guessing his mobile number. I did a social engineering and recognizes of Jerry. I know his mobile numbers and his private numbers, whatever he uses, and what is his pet name and everything I know. So I have covered all the areas. So now I'm just mentioning, okay, his mobile number starts with 99940. Okay, fine. So I'm going to give this. So based on the prefix and again the rest of the thing, it will be calculated. So I'm going to mention password length will be maximum 5. So based on that, it will be calculating. So I'm giving start. Now you can see how it is happening. So 99940 will be the prefix, and based on the last things will be like varied. 40, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and 40,000. I'm getting 400 response. So it is like this application is not vulnerable to brute force. So they are like giving you a bad request error. You are trying n number of wrong requests. You are sending something fishy. So server is like configured properly. So it is looking like, okay, some attacker is trying to brute force some user's password. So it is blocking my request. But still, in our point of view, how the word lists were created and how the request is sent. So if I'm clicking this, you can go below. See, now the combinations will be like, these are the injection point. So now it is sending 999405100. It is sending the request which is like auto generated with the word list. So you can see, I just hit before a fraction of second. So it is like it have sent 71 requests. So it will be very fast. We are having some automated tools for Linux, Kali Linux, some security OS. We are having some security researchers tools. It will be like very fast than this. It will be like capable of brute forcing hundreds of password in a fraction of seconds. So you can see it is like it is crossing 103 requests. So let me ignore this, or else my primary ID will be get blocked by this application. So again, it is like we are moving to a fourth point, brute forcing. So we are having some tools in Kali Linux as well as some many tools in Linux environment which runs developed by some security researchers, which can be run through a command line as well as manually. You can perform manually inject different combinations one by one by hitting until you succeed. Until you get a right password, you can go ahead with these things. So let's go into another environment which I can show you. So this is a tool. Okay, let me start from these. It is a tool for cracking Wi-Fi passwords. Wi-Fi password. So it is like the motive is to show you all how it is capable of doing a brute forcing the passwords of Wi-Fi, how fast it is cracking a password. The only motive is that, other than that, cracking Wi-Fi password is illegal in a particular steps. So while performing, don't perform anything. So let me consider it is my Wi-Fi chipset I am using this. So I'm going into that, and I already captured the request. And the path. When you're running for the first time, it'll be like checking the entire thing and the functionalities into that. Two. I'm using. One second, my screen is getting flickered. One second, let me check. tab /root / hmm. /users hmm.
Yes, so hello everyone. Sorry for the interruption. I'm Rohit. So I can see that Jerry has faced some issue, technical issue. So meanwhile he is getting connected, I would like to continue. So in this attack, Jerry was trying to show that how an attacker can brute force the file, which is a packet capture file. Okay, so this was the Wi-Fi attack. In the Wi-Fi attack, basically the attacker captures a packet file. So what actually is a packet file? He will go near to any router of any house. So let's say I go to Jerry's house where he has his router and the Wi-Fi is working perfectly fine and his devices are connected to the Wi-Fi. So I'm the attacker and I do not have the password for his Wi-Fi, but I need the password. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to capture the request from the router that the router is throwing. So router has a tendency to always send packets everywhere. Okay, the router is continuously transferring packets to all the devices in the home which are connected, like your mobile, TV, printer, anything. Okay, so when the router is sending the packets out to the other devices, the attacker, that is me in this case, will capture those packets. Okay, so when I have captured those packets, in those packets, in encrypted format, the password is saved. Okay, the password is saved into those packets. So what I will do is, I will take that packet, go home, then try to decrypt the password from that packet. Okay, there are various tools like this. As you can see onto the screen, there was a tool called as AirGuardian, through which I can crack the WPA and WPA2 password, that is the wireless Wi-Fi password. Okay, it is very simple. I just need to give the packet capture to the particular tool, and the tool will do the work for me. The tool will try permutation combinations. Okay, and from a word list, as Jerry has already discussed about how we can make a word list. So from that word list, the tool is going to take each character and it is going to match that character with that particular PCAP file, that is the packet capture file. And at the last, it will be able to give you the right password that the Wi-Fi has. So this was one of the way through which you can capture and decrypt the passwords from the Wi-Fi. Okay. One important thing, that it is totally illegal if you basically try to capture the request of someone else without their prior permission. So you cannot intercept their network, you cannot capture their request, and you cannot basically snoop into anyone's communication that has been ongoing. Okay. For this, if you want to do that, you have to take prior permission, or it is against the law for cracking anyone's Wi-Fi passwords. What if I'm using mobile data for internet? Someone asked. So in case of you're using mobile data, then it's totally fine. We are not able to crack, because there is nothing like a Wi-Fi hotspot or a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, this attack only works for wireless enabled access points, that is either a Wi-Fi, a public hotspot. Okay, also you should not connect to public hotspots, because while you are connected to a public hotspot, any attacker can come in between and they can try to intercept the request that is happening between the public hotspot router and your device. So I have seen generally many people, they go around Starbucks CCD, they sit there, they use the free Wi-Fi. Okay, they are connected to the Wi-Fi, they are doing their activities into the network. Okay, and what the attacker is doing, attacker is sitting at one corner and he is continuously accessing the packets that have been sent by all the people. Okay, so in this packets there is some important and sensitive details which are being transferred continuously. As I said, router has a tendency to send packets all the time. So this way attackers can also intercept the request between all others. Yeah, so I think Jerry has been back. Yeah, Jerry, you can continue. All over to you again.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit. Thank you. And sorry for the inconvenience. I'm facing few flickering issues, so I restarted my machine. So let's consider another tool. Let me show you another THC. It is known as THC Hydra. So I'm just going to brute force a admin panel of, it is like a hack the box machine. It is one of the machine. So I'm just going to hit enter. So 1 second. Sorry, it is not used. The machine is not up, so it is giving me the error. Actually, the hack the box machine, it is not up, so it is giving me the same error. Second, let me log in for that and I'll show you the password. So another main thing, these are all the techniques which we perform for brute forcing the passwords. For another case, let us consider how to create good passwords, and let us go into deep for what is password and what is passphrases. So I want an interactive session from audience. I'm giving an option for good passwords are passwords alphabets alone and numeric alone, and alpha plus numeric, and alpha plus numeric plus special characters, and passphrases. So based on our today's session, let me get answers from you all. Which are the strong passwords? You guess. So I want a response from audience.
Alpha numeric and special characters.
Okay. So last option is passphrases. So it is fine. We got a right response. It is like, I would suggest passphrases are very good and strong password, because when let us go into a differentiation between passwords and passphrases. So let's consider example @ dollar and whatever may be, and 1 2 3 4, or specific date of birth or anything. So this is a password, and passphrase is nothing but it is like, I love hacking very much, and here also will be like giving hack, and no I won, and will be giving a E. So it is like passwords won't be having any white spaces or space in between anything. It will be a continuous characters, list of continuous characters. So it is like example $, 3004, whatever may be. But when we are saying about passphrases, it is a good example for passphrase. I space love space h @CKI, not I one ing very much. So if we take the entire length of this, it will be like around 15 or 16 or 18 maybe. But when we consider it into password, if it is a good password and very strong password, okay, it is fine. Even though if you want to brute force this, it will be like very easy to brute force. Sometimes it may take few more minutes to or hours to crack this. But in case of passphrases, we are having a white space, as well as we are having lengthy phrases with a combination of alpha, numeric, as well as special characters, with uppercase as well as lowercase. So I would suggest passphrase will be a best option for preventing from password brute forcing. So based on the applications, they will be allowing you to create a passphrase, and some applications won't provide you to create passphrase. It will be allowing you only to create a strong. Bob @30. It is only 6 characters. So if I want to, in an attacker point of view, if I want to crack this password, frankly, it will take 5 minutes at the max. So in another case, if I am using little more Confucius or tedious process, I am giving a little bit lengthy password 3004. So in this case, it will give you some more difficulties to crack password, maybe around 10 to 15 at the max. So nowadays password cracking tools are very fast, and high rated password cracking machines are there. So it will be like cracking, it will be like brute forcing hundreds to thousands of combinations of password in fraction of seconds. In a second, it will crash thousands of passwords. So if you are like giving a lengthy password, the combinations will take more number of combinations to create, and it won't be like easily guessable passwords you should mention. So now I am creating another password. Say I'm not using any Bob or any of my date of birth. Say I'm using for I helping I'm using ING, and I'm again using some different characters which are not randomly used. So 1, 2. So something I'm using, again I'm giving a special character. So it will be a like it can also be brute force, but still it will be taking you some more time to crack. So based on that application security, say Amazon, if I want to crack Rohit Gautam's Amazon account, so he is having he'll be having even Amazon application will be having some security measures for giving users protective measures. So again, Rohit, he is using some difficult password. Say he's using the same password. So he's using the same password. So I'm trying a first iteration and second iteration and third iteration. When I'm trying, the Amazon application itself will throw my IP away and it will block my MAC address so that I can't perform the attack, so that Rohit is safe from my attack. In another case, if Rohit is little lazy and he's going on with a easy password, like not this one, he's using Rohit at the rate and his date of birth, let's consider 30. So I know I'm his friend, so I'm using, okay, he is lazy guy, so he'll be using his name as well as the date of birth only. So if I'm randomly trying this, he is vulnerable and I'll be like logging into Rohit's account genuinely. I can use his Prime account, I can order anything with his, if he is saving any card details, I can use some items to be purchased. Even sometimes CVV details and these details may be shared from friends. We will be knowing that, we can guess that. So it will be like not secured manner of keeping a passwords like this. So today's takeaway will be keep pass phrases wherever possible. So wherever possible, keep passphrases, avoid passwords, as well as mentioned earlier, don't keep passwords, same passwords for different accounts, so that we can like use a spray attack, which can be performed like randomly. We'll be going into different social accounts, different shopping websites, try for same email ID with same passwords. So if you are keeping a same account, your every account is got seized by an attackers. Suppose if you are allowed to use only passwords, at that case go for long and secured password and strong passwords, just like this, so that you are giving some more difficulties to the attacker for performing brute force, as well as different sorts of attacks. Sorry. Again, when we come into organization point of view, the users will be like, you'll be given, say I am working in Hacktify, they'll be giving me an email, so they'll be providing me jerry@hacktify.in. So they are giving me an email address with default passwords which they used to remember. So jerry@, sorry, or else they are giving like this with my date of birth. So this is the password they are giving normally to each and every user. So I am a new employee of my company, and Rohit is giving me a email ID for his company, jerry@hacktify.in and Jerry, and this is the format which they are giving me regularly. So what I would do is, if Shifa Shifa is using the account and I want to get into her ID. So in this case, what I will do is, they have given me a format jerry@3004. Okay, why don't we try for Shifa's account? So let me try Shifa and let her password be 006. Okay, let me try. So if she is like lazy and not even change their primary password, so in this case now Jerry is a genuine user, genuine legal, logged into Shifa's account. So in this case, it is like very difficult and you are like most vulnerable using a primary given passwords. It can be of many sorts. Maybe of banking, they will be giving you a password, they will be giving you PIN numbers to change a PIN. But when you are like being lazy and I have no need to use some different password, I no need to change password, in those case, it will be like easily guessable. So in our chapter, we have saw the Wi-Fi cracking, and in those case, Wi-Fi cracking, if I know if I am going to Rohit's house and he having configured his router, and the router is like, normally I will be guessing, okay, admin. So if he haven't changed the passwords like admin, I will be easily logged into his account, or else I will try for another few combinations like admin and password. So if it works, I'll be a genuine user of Rohit's router. I can change, I can give permissions, I can like do a whatever possible for me. I can inject some payloads to the devices which are connected, and everything I can perform through that. So based on these, today's takeaway are very simple: strong passwords in case passphrases are not allowed, or else keep passphrases wherever it is possible, as well as don't use primary given email IDs passwords. Change your passwords immediately once you get the full rights. Also for routers, don't use the primary passwords given like admin password or user password. When we go into Linux systems, don't use root. So again, if you are using some old configuration, it will be like root to. Don't use these kind of password combinations. Just change anything and make sure your personal data is very safe. So today is end of the session. Any queries, you can just trigger it out.
Participants, if you have any doubt or if you have any queries, please type your queries in the chat box, or you can unmute and you can ask the questions. Those are having the query, please turn on your mic. Others, please put your mic on mute. Thank you. Jerry sir, there is one question. Is it true that
all
only
websites allow passphrases? I think, for example, Gmail, we don't have passphrase facility, no, sir?
Okay. Sorry?
Passphrases are not available in all browsers or websites, no, sir? For example, in Gmail, we don't have passphrase facility, right?
Yeah, actually, I would suggest you some, when you are going into Gmail,
I'm
let me
able
take,
to see my chat window.
sorry?
I'm unable to see my chat window.
I mean, so once this query is solved, then you can ask the questions, ma'am. So there is another one question is going on. The discussion is going on. So once it is over, you can ask the questions.
So my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So for this question, you are taking a Gmail. So I am using @gmail.com. So I am using a password as 94888. I'm using my personal number, even though, see, I am using the personal number. So again, you can just give it is like in technical name, we can name it as hardening of your personal account. So I am using a normal password. Okay, fine. But even I am using a Again, second step I am using two-step authenticator. So two-factor authentication I am using. So I'll be getting a message to my phone. It will be like six-digit code. Okay, 12434 something. It is an example I'm mentioning. So this one again I'm getting a two-factor authentication you can enable. Again, if you want something, okay, even two-factor authentications can be bypassed. In this condition, you can use Google Authenticator. It is an Android as well as iOS application. It is available in Play Store. It will be working on rolling key encryption. So it will be like for 60 seconds once the 6-digit code will be like first 60 seconds it will be 434. Again, if you want to refresh when you are logging in, it will be like changed to 342 or 13 something. So if you are like logging in with ajiri@gmail.com with my password, and again I'm getting a two-factor authentication with a text message to my mobile phone. Even though if your mobile phone is compromised, again you can use this Google Authenticator, so that it will be like generating each and every 60 seconds. It will be like keep on changing automatically. You can also refresh. So once you're logging in, if you feel like some attacker is trying to if he is monitoring you, you can just double click or refresh 2 or 3 times and get a Google Authenticator code, so that it will be like even though attacker is very fast and he's cracking everything, it will be like taking a minimum time of 2 to 5 minutes, so that before that you will be getting this code and it will expire, so that your session is secured. So in case of Microsoft also, we are having Microsoft Authenticator for OneDrive as well as Microsoft Hotmail, Outlook, everything. You are having an authenticator application which should be configured. I will be sharing you the videos how to configure the Google Authenticator with Google in Gmail settings, as well as Microsoft Authenticator in Microsoft settings.
Thank you very much, sir. It was very useful.
Yeah. So any other queries?
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
I think most of the questions were answered by both Rohit as well as Shiva.
Yeah,
Yesterday's query was also addressed by him.
Okay.
Thank you, Rohit as well as Shiva. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. And I thank all the participants for patient listening, and also the organizing team for the successful conduct of this FDP. So tomorrow we can meet at 1:50. Thank you one and all.
Participants, I have shared today's feedback link, so please fill the feedback link. Thank you.
Chat